Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Just thought I'd return to you this early morning for a album review for the new Silverstein record, Pink Moon, the 8-track record that I'm reviewing for you guys for this 23.5-minute album. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for the 8 songs on this long-awaited studio album for Pink Moon that we've been waiting for since May because of Negative Space coming out then. And I'll let you know my thoughts on Silverstein's new record, Pink Moon. So let's dive into this album review. Now, this is the follow-up to Anti-Bloom, and overall, it starts with I Love You, but I Have to Let You Go. This one was a solid one for how it sounded. I didn't, hate this one, but I think it was pretty good, but also solid in its own way. So 4.75 out of 5 for this one. It's not a bad way to start the record in its own way. Negative Space is the next song, and it's overall a very strong track still. I really enjoyed this track. I do come back to this a lot. Great banger of a track, and I really enjoyed Shane Told's screaming potential in this. It sounds really good. And to refresh you on the last song is 1 minute and 45 seconds, so you're in for a very short song going into the next track, Negative Space. But overall, Negative Space is a 5 out of 5. It's very enjoyable. Drain the Blood is the next track featuring Ori Rodriguez of Dayseeker. Definite banger of mine. I have this as a ringtone for when people call me. Random people call me. I just threw it in as a ringtone. I was like, fuck it. This was one of my favorite songs. Still is my favorite song off this record. But there are some other tracks that are pretty strong too. So, 5 out of 5 for Drain the Blood. I like Rory Rodriguez coming in at the end of the track where he screams, "No one leaves till the blood has drained," and all that. And Shane Told's screaming potential in the verses and chorus for most of the track was really strong. So this was a great track, 5 out of 5. The Fatalist is another great track. I really enjoyed this one. Shane Told's moments with his singing and screaming in this is pretty epic, and it does work for the execution, so definitely rocks. One of my favorite tracks on the record too as well, so 5 out of 5. The Widowmaker, I believe is how you pronounce it, Widowmaker. I put Windowmaker by mistake, but when I wrote it down, but I accidentally threw in an N for Nancy for Widowmaker, but Windowmaker, but it's Widowmaker. Overall, great track. I really enjoyed this one. I like the singing from Shane Told in this, and it executes very well. 5 out of 5. It is quite a great song for how it sounds. Autopilot featuring Cassidy Pope is another great song. It took time to grow on me. I wasn't sure if I was going to like Autopilot, which features Cassidy Pope, but it overall does very well with both their harmonizing and singing, and it executed pretty well. 5 out of 5. Death Hold is a great song too. Really enjoyed this one too, with how Shane Told's singing it most of the time. It does very well with the execution, and overall, it's a great song. It is the second to last track before you get to the closing track, but it's overall a pretty strong track for how it sounds. I really dig this song. So 5 out of 5. And finally, Dying Game is the closing track to the Pink Moon record, and it overall is a solid track. It's a little melodic and mellow, and Shane Told's singing is pretty nice in it, but I don't know, the melody doesn't really do well with me, but who knows, it may grow on me throughout time. This is one of those tracks that is filler, but it's alright in its own way, so 4.75 out of 5. I don't hate this song, I just have a few critiques with it, with how the execution is, so Yeah, 4.75 out of 5. So overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, I think Silverstein's follow-up to Anti-Bloom, Pink Moon is another good record, very good record. I really enjoyed this. I had a good time listening to it for 23 minutes and 31 seconds. You're in for quite a banger. So it's quite a good time to listen to for 23 and a half minutes. So overall, if I were to give Silverstein's Pink Moon a score, I'm giving their, I believe, 13th studio album is what this is. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Another strong record. It definitely rocks. I highly recommend you check this record out if you have not listened to it for September 12th releases. I was really excited when they announced this back when Negative Space came out, and I was like, oh yeah, like we're going to be in for another treat because they've dropped 2 records this year. 2 short albums, but if you combine them together, that's 16 songs we're getting from Silverstein. So we're getting plenty of material for the year. So they're not going to be coming back with another album until like 2028, most likely. So it's going to be a few years down the road. But other than that, I'm satisfied. And that's enough material to keep me satisfied for sure. So 9.5 out of 10 for Silverstein Pink Moon. I hope you enjoyed this album review this morning. And thank you guys for watching.